You are watching a special edition of The Breakdown, seen exclusively at atv.ca and A Sports Extra. My name is Norman James, and in studio tonight, the Polish Hammer, Chris Horodecki. Chris, times have been triumphant yet tough for you. Thank you very much for joining us.
Glad to be here, Norm. Thanks for having me.
So, Bellator 47, you beat Chris Showtime Saunders, unanimous decision. You look fantastic. You didn't knock him out, but hey, you got the W, now 18-3. Thinking back to that fight now, I know a lot of other things are clouding your mind, but if you could take us back to that fight, pleased?
Yeah, I'm happy to get a win, unanimously, decision, won all the rounds. Just unfortunate I didn't get the finish. I was looking for that, hungry for a submission, hungry for the knockout, but a win's a win, and keep moving forward. So
you put on a clinic against this Southern California fighter who considers you one of his lightweight idols. Was there any point in the fight where you thought that you weren't going to win it?
No, absolutely. There were points of the fight where I thought I was going to finish him. I thought I had him right off the bat with the guillotine in the first round. I clipped him a few times, but he's tough, and I knew going into the fight that he's a tough guy. I heard about him, but I just controlled him and got the win.
Bellator 47. It's an interesting series, a series that you can see on free television. Some fantastic fighters. It's a series that's on the rise. How did you strike up this relationship with Bellator? Because I guess a couple of weeks ago you were kind of like a free agent.
Well, I was originally scheduled to fight in Border Wars that 5 of my teammates fought on. Chris Clemens, Pete Brown, Javier Torres, Clint Kingsbury. And the show ended up not working out for me. Circumstances out of my control. My opponents kept getting switched around, and it got to the point where the athletic commission just scrapped the bout altogether. So it was very unfortunate for me. But thankfully, within a day, my trainer, my manager, put together a fight with Bellator a week after. I had 2 of my teammates, Jesse Gross and Ronnie Mann, on the card. So perfect. One door closed, another one opened, and on a bigger show, televised coast to coast. Couldn't beat that.
From what I understand, the Ontario Athletic Commission has some sorting out to do. I won't make you comment on that because you want them on your side, but this whole MMA thing is new for them. So as they go forward, they're going to make some mistakes, and let's hope those mistakes are minimized as time progresses. You see where I'm going with that?
Absolutely. We got so much potential in terms of the province. It took us, over 10 years to get the sport here, and we got the fans, we got the fighters, we got the talent. And the potential's here, so everything's gonna work out, and it is stepping in the right direction. And the commission's new, they're learning, but they're gonna get the job done.
What's it been like for you, kind of roaming the countryside, if you will? You were a mainstay and one of the top fighters in IFL. You went to WEC. You were fighting under reputable umbrellas, and then WEC decides to go its separate way, and there you are, kind of trying to find your own way on your own. What's that been like, knowing that you're not really fighting under a major brand, and knowing that you really don't know where your next fight's going to come from?
Well, I just keep focused. I'm a fighter, and I'm just keeping active. And with the sport opening in Ontario, I was very fortunate. I found the inaugural card that came to the province, and was a headliner there. So there's fights. There's always going to be fights. There are other shows, and I'm just working my way back up to the top, man.
Bellator, again, we think it's a series on the rise. From what I understand, you have a 2-fight deal with this company. Is that correct? And when would you be fighting for Bellator again? And do you have any fights between now and then? Well,
right now, yeah, I signed 2 fights, got the first one done, but previously it was already scheduled, and I am going to be fighting September 10th at Freedom Fight, which is one of Canada's longest running promotions, produced by Pete Rodley. So I'm excited to do that, and I'm fighting for the lightweight belt, so I'm really excited to get my first strap, man.
Yeah, Bellator in December?
And then hopefully injury-free after a September fight, so by the end of the year, I'll be back in the Bellator cage.
Okay, this fight that's going to take place in Sudbury, your opponent, Brad Cardinal, he won a controversial decision over Jesse Gross in Ottawa a few months back. Jesse not too pleased that the fight had an early stoppage from everybody else's perspective besides the referee. That's what it was. Brad Cardinal, a bit cocky, a bit arrogant, taking that belt with the smile and the whole deal, like knowing that he was going to win that fight. He's a veteran of the game. Do you say to yourself, one veteran to another, I'm going to avenge my boy, Jesse Gross?
Absolutely, man. a fight's a fight, and I'm, whatever happened, happened. But yeah, I'm definitely looking to avenge my teammate Jesse's loss there, and bring this belt home back to London.
We talk about you in high regard, considering you've accomplished a lot at a young age, 23, 18-3. Chris Clements, your teammate at Adrenaline, he's 35, and he's what, got 12, 15, 13 fights under his belt. It's hard for me to conceive you not being a part of UFC one day. Do you see where I'm coming from?
Just working my way back, man. Just working my way back, one step at a time. I'm not happy with the road I'm taking. You know what I mean? I fought in the big shows. I've been the main event. It'll all come. Everything will work out. When the dust settles, I'll be there.
The two people you lost to in WEC, Naquani and Cerrone, are still part of that series. For my money, Donald Cerrone's really fantastic fighter. Naquani, talented, but and they are there. What kind of, I know it hurts, fighters, you guys are tough, but there's got to be an insecurity there. When you see those guys do their thing and you know that, you're just as good, does that give you the hunger to want to keep
Oh,
going?
Absolutely, absolutely. Seeing my past opponents, still in the big show. And I get a lot of drive too, seeing my teammates, Mark Hominick perform such, fight of a decade,
Yeah,
you can say, and I was right there corner side with him. And I definitely have a lot of drive and motivation. Sam Stout's big KO in Vancouver. So having my teammates, my friends, being able to be there just gives me a drive that, I'm on that level, my day will come.
And it's arguable, but technically, you're just as good as or better than the guys you just mentioned. And of course, that's for you guys to settle when nobody's watching in the octagon or in the ring at Adrenaline in East London. But
exactly.
Any thought of going to featherweight? It's interesting because you could go to featherweight, drop 10 pounds, fight bigger, and perhaps dominate where there aren't too many fighters who can dominate. There are fantastic fighters at the top, but there's not a lot of middle ground, and maybe you can work your way up there.
Yeah, just definitely consider that right now. The next fight, in Freedom fight, is for the 55-pound belt. So, so that's set. But after after this fight, we'll take some considerations, and if it's for the right deal, for the right fight, I may be making a move.
Last thing for you, you lost your good friend, guy you grew up with right before the Bellator fight. I don't want to leave the interview on a sad note, but it's safe to say that something like that happens, and as much as it brings us down a couple of pegs, it makes us want to go up even higher, does it not?
Absolutely. I lost a close friend of mine, Jake Savitsky, and just a complete shock, being a completely healthy guy and then going to sleep one day and not waking up the next. Just a shock to my whole group, the whole core group that we have, of friends that we have. But I needed to fight, and I needed to, use his energy, and he was such a sports fan and a fan of mine, and encouraging me always. And I knew he wanted me to fight, and I used his drive and his energy to bring me through in the ring last Saturday.
Life's precious, Chris, and so is your talent. Best of luck in Sudbury. Get that belt, Bellator. Can't wait to see you in the UFC one day, okay?
Appreciate it, Norm. Thanks for having me.
There he is, the Polish Hammer, Chris Horodecki. You were watching The Breakdown on atv.ca and a Sports Extra. Catch you next time.